multiple strikes to the race.
We're back in the stewards' room. The outcome has been decided on the track, but it will ultimately be decided in the stewards' room. A protest in the Nissan Stakes. Alf Matthews, the rider of the second horse, Idea, protesting against David Taggart.
On the line, and it happened too late. If there was. Any questions, Stewart? No, feel away that time to consider that.
So now they'll deliberate. They've had a look at the video, the head-on video, and it will be up to the stewards to take into account all of the information that has been passed on by the riders, the evidence, and they'll also use their own observations of the head-on video. And Alf Matthews claiming he was taken in about 3 horses by David Taggart. He said his horse lost concentration. David Taggart admitted that there was contact and that he did move in, but he said at no stage did Alf Matthews have to stop riding Idea, to which Alf's reply was, well, how would he know? Did he look around and see me? Anyway, the placings as they stand, 14, 15 and 6, and now some nervous moments going on, and you'll be the first to know. Let's have a listen to what they're saying. Speaking in pretty hushed tones in there. I remember being in there 3 years ago, Jen, on the first Tuesday of November after the Melbourne Cup. Could have cut the atmosphere with a knife that day. Let's open Shipper's Revenge.
Well, Pete, there is $195,000 up for grabs here. This is first place, and second place is $60,000. So there's a bit of money involved in this protest. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'd like to have Alf Matthews on my side.
He argues well, doesn't he?
He does a very good job in that stewards room.
Well, I wonder if Alfie might get his second race at the Carnival on protest. Of course, he got the race on protest on Pindi in the last race on Derby Day, and now he's going for the big one on the final day. Just before we get the announcement as they go back in, a quick look at race 6, Jen. What did you come up with here? Scratching is number 7, Poetique. Number 7, Poetique. And they're going back in now, so let's have a listen. Emily, a definite run of race 6.
Has been dismissed.
Considered the objection is dismissed. Thank you.
Protest dismissed on the Nissan Stakes, and so the placings will stay. Seascape number 14 remains the winner for David Taggart and David Hayes. Idea, Alf Matthews second, and third Western Red, Patrick Payne. So the numbers 14, 15 and 6 protest dismissed on the big race of the day. Let's have a look at the head-on here, and we'll identify these horses. That's Seascape under the arrow there, and you'll see it move in towards Alf's mount, which is on the inside Idea. There's a lot of crowding goes on there. You see Arborea almost fell just behind Soho Square, and here is where the interference happens. You can see Seascape noticeably drifting in. Now, keep an eye on Alf Matthews, still riding with the whip there. He hasn't had to put the stick away. Seascape straightens a bit there, and there's the eventual winner, Seascape, the horse in the white cap on the inside of him. And again, Seascape starting to drift in. But now they're clear of each other. Idea on the inside, Alf Matthews still riding with the whip. You can see Seascape again inclined to drift in. No contact there as yet. Now there's contact near the line, but that was right on the line that contact was made. So there you have it, the head on. That's the video that the stewards have been having a look at. So it's 14, 15 and 6. Seascape remains the winner for David Taggart and David Hayes. So now with correct weight after the protest, here's the dividends with Dan Malicki.
$47.20 and $13.20 for Seascape. Idea $10 even. Western Red $3.80. The Quinella $803.70. The trifecta, a huge one, $26,208 even. The race-to-race double $660.80. The margins are short head by a half length, and it was 1 minute 37 was the time. So Alf Matthews gave a great case, but it was probably a long shot right from the start, Pete.
Well, anxious moments for the connections of Seascape, but now they can enjoy that winning feeling, and they're about to get the trophy for the Nissan Stakes.
Everybody clear?
Yep.
The racing industry has changed over the years, and that's meant differences in the way these young jockeys go about their business. These young apprentices come back here to school 4 times a year. They learn skills like accounting, computers, horse care, as well as things like public speaking and diet. When it comes to learning the racing skills, they do that from legends like Alan Trevena.
There are some 36 years of trackside tips and racing wisdom Alan shares with this young new breed.
Now I want you to line up, as you're lined up there now, walk towards me near the outside fence. I'm going to pull that strand. Now be prepared for them to balk, won't you? Walk them up. And when I let that strand go, give them a dig and try to bounce them off the mark. Go! I told you they've never seen it. There's one now. No. Well, you've just lost the race, you two.
Just like most other things at this school, you won't find everything that you need to learn in a textbook.
Teach them about the fine weather friends and, you know, and what things that have happened to us. Everything we tell them has happened to us. And I say to them, look, if something happens and goes wrong, if you get taken off a horse or something, don't be too upset. It's happened to me, it's going to happen to you, it's going to happen to everybody. We prepare them for things that we had to learn through experience. We tell them what's in front of them so they know.
But not everyone who starts out makes it. In this cutthroat business where reputations rest on wins, only 3% of apprentices make it to the top.
Most of them will drop out because of weight. They'll get too heavy. A lot of them will drop out through lack of ability, which then they don't get the opportunities. And the ones who make the grade will be pretty handy riders.
Haven't got much education behind us, and if we don't become a jockey, it might be not much for us in the future.
Despite that risk, the rewards can be great, and that makes the gamble worthwhile for these future stars of the track.
Got your hold? When you build up a bit of speed, that's about a trotting pace. Fair way to go, yeah. Have a nice hold on him. Have a nice hold on him. That's the boy. Don't rock. Get in rhythm.
Top 3%, huh? I guess when you think about most sport, when it comes to golfers or tennis players, it's only that small percentage that really make it to the top. And when you get there, you thoroughly deserve it. Let's go racing. The Cadbury Roses Stakes is race number 6 on the card. Here's Petey and Jen.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, they're just about to mount up here. Number 7, Poetique, comes out, and Amelie, number 6, a definite starter here. There's David Hayes, who scored the victory in the previous event, albeit after a protest hearing, which thankfully for David went his way. But in the Cadbury Roses Stakes, Jen, the chances here include Scarlet Crown, number 2, and David Hayes is the trainer. She finished 3rd here behind Kensher, but was beaten nearly 5 lengths by the winner, and that was on Tuesday.
Yes, that form doesn't meet all that bad, Pete, because that day she came down the inside and the winner and the second horse came down the outside, and we know from that experience that the outside was the better going. She's definitely there with a chance here today. Alf Matthews on board because Greg's not feeling all that well, so I think she's got a good chance here.
Number 3 is Pimpala Patch, to be ridden by Darren Beebman, and if winning form is good form, then this horse has good form because it's won its last 4.
Yes, 2 very gutsy wins too, her last 2. She's going to be extremely hard to beat because you can't fault her form, Pete.
You've gone for number 4, Rust Essence, to be ridden by Patrick Payne. Good second behind Love of Mary last start because Love of Mary's got a bit of class on her side.
She has, and also this horse, she got well back and she was held up and checked around about the 500-metre mark. She got a nice little run in the straight and she really fought on strongly. It was a terrific effort there. I thought she had a very good chance. She's been freshened up too, Pete, and I do believe that she has recovered from a pulled back muscle. She's been having physio on that, and I think she's fine now. So, yes, I do like her.
That was David Taggart just heading out there. Number 5 is Alice Bluegown, and this one will be ridden by Stephen King, finished 6th in that race behind Kensher on Tuesday.
Well, she was beaten easily on that occasion, and I don't think she's going to find this all that much easier.
Amelie, number 6, will carry the hoodoo colours, the all-white colours of the club, to be ridden by Michael Clark. It's the second of David Hayes' runners and has been showing reasonable form over in Adelaide.
In Adelaide, she sat outside the leader there, Peter, and she fought on all right, but it's a lot tougher here, and I only gave her a place chance.
The one I've gone for in the race is right down the bottom, Jen, number 14, Princess Door, to be ridden by Damien Oliver, trained by Greg Urella Cranbourne. And the win at Werribee was very, very impressive.
And the win before that too, Pete, she's only had the 2 starts, was extremely impressive. She won by 9 lengths with her head on her chest there. She's come up quite short, this horse, but she's a pretty good filly.
takes the step up in class here. There are the colours that Markstad carried to victory the other day. So I've gone for Princess Door in race 6, Jen, and what about you?
I've gone for number 4, Rust Essence, to win from number 3, Pimpala Patch, and number 14, Princess Dior, to run third.
Repeating that Alf Matthews is the rider for number 2, Scarlet Crown, here in race 6. And there will be a riding change in race 7. Number 11, Dr. Zachary. Larry Cassidy won't be aboard that horse, so we'll get a rider for you for Dr. Zachary in the 7th event as soon as possible. There's David's first of his runners, Scarlet Crown, and the other one, Amelie, carrying the all-white colours of the club. Well, the sun's out here. Dan, it's a beautiful scene, but we've had the gamut of weather conditions today, really.
Indeed, the 4 seasons in one day. 25.50 for Novojinsky, number 1 in race 6. 2 Scarlet Crown, $12.80. 3 Pimpala Patch, $4.40. Rust Essence, $6.70. Alice Blue Gown, $13. Amelie, $11.60. Sailor's Dream, $46. Number 9, Wine and Roses, $16.70. Black is Beautiful, $26.10. Chaperon Rouge, $73.30. Go Misty, $62.30. Haythrop, $56.60. And the favourite Princess Door, $2.80 for the win and $1.90 for the place. Right down the bottom, the top pick, a Princess Door for race 6.
Well, she's showing $2.80 on the tote. I don't know what the bookmakers' figures are showing down there as they go to the gates, but they'll start here right at the top of the straight, the 1,200 metre mark. And with this field and 1 scratching, we've got 13 runners, and one would expect that they'd all come down the flat side here. There are the selections. Princess Door from Roy Higgins and myself. Roy, of course, covered himself in glory in that previous event by suggesting that Seasky had no earthly hope, and as we suggested, as soon as you say that, they almost become a certainty, and that's the way it turned out. Rust Essence from Jenny Chapman and John Letts. So these runners are going down to the stalls now for this listed race, the Cadbury Roses Stakes. The amended starting time, 3:30, about 6 minutes away from now. And we'll be back in just a tick on the final day of the Carnival at fabulous Flemington.
Just when...
Sun out in some passes of the course, cloudy down here. So you can certainly experience all the conditions, Daniel.
Novojinsky, Pete, $24.80. Scarlet Crown, $10.80. They are at the starting stalls for race number 6. Pimpala Patch, $4.30. Rust Essence, $6.50. Alice Blue Gown, $14.80. Amelie, 1 of 2 from the Hayes stable here, has got the all-white colours on too, Amelie, $12. Sailor's Dream, $49.20. Wine and Roses, $18. Seems the appropriate omen, perhaps, for punters of this week. Although Rain and Roses or Rain and Wine perhaps would have been better. Black is Beautiful, $28.40. Chaperon Rouge, $80. Go Misty, $69. Haythrop, $59. And Princess Door. Firm enough favourite, $2.80 and $1.90. They're about to be called up. It's always worthwhile putting in that last-minute study. It all helps. Princess Door, Gary Willits, you have seen before. Most of us have. She's been most impressive in the provincial areas.
Yes, only had the 2 starts and won very easily, but the one I like to look at was number 4, Rust Essence. I thought it looked very well, Dan. Of course, the Sydney horse, number 3, Pimpala Patch. It's had very good form. Like it's won its last 4 races, it's pretty good form, so Princess Dior will have to be right at the top to beat these 2.
Well, she certainly has got outstanding winning margin form going into this race. Scarlet Crown with Alfie Matthews aboard. Alfie was trying to take the race off David Hayes in the previous race, and this time he's going to be trying hard to win for him.
Well, that's right. Well, that's what racing, that's what it's all about. And while you're riding that horse, all you're worried about is winning for that owner and trainer. But it's nice to see Michael Clark riding one for David Hayes in this too, Dan.
Yeah, good to see too. She got some sort of a chance, Emily, as well. So good luck to Mick. Good to see him back on a winner if he's able to do it. I'm sure it's not too far away.
Yeah, he's a great rider.
Now, Black is Beautiful going up. Scarlet Crown will be the last one to link up to the line. She's drawn barrier 13. Well, she comes into 13 with a scratching, of course, Poetique and a Mission. And Scarlet Crown goes up now. Already now, the light is on. Gates crashed back. They're away in racing. Pimpala Patch jumped away fairly well. A few of these are going to come towards the outside rail. Scarlet Crown was the first to scoot across there. And going across with her also was Pimpala Patch and Amelie as well. Black is Beautiful was up there. Whereas on the flat side of the track, Novojinsky is a clear leader over Alice Blue Gown. They were followed by Haythrop. Go Misty on its inside from Chaperon Rouge. And Rust Essence was also in that pack as they work up to the crossing. 750 metres metres left to travel, and very little between the inside and the outside. Coming down the grandstand rail, though, Pimpala Patch is the leader from Emily. Black is Beautiful, Scarlet Crown, then Princess Dior about 2.5 lengths off them, whereas over on the flat side, Novajinsky, 2 to Alice Blue Gown and Rust Essence working into the race. Very little between both sides of the track as they come to the 400. Pimpala Patch in front. Princess Dior is wearing it down. Black is Beautiful's run a cheeky race. On the flat side, Rust Essence got to the lead from Alice Blue Gown. Wide outer in front, they have it between them. Princess Dior, the leader from Pimpala Patch, and Black is Beautiful, with Princess Dior is opening right up in the last couple of 100 metres. She's raced away from Pimpala Patch. Black is Beautiful and eased up in a canter. How good is this filly? Princess Dior has won at 4 lengths. Second placing goes to Pimpala Patch. Black is Beautiful has run third. A break in the field then to Emily. Rust Essence, Alice Blue Gown, Go Misty. Next home was Chaperon Rouge from Haythrop. Novajinsky carved up, and Wine and Roses towards the tail with Scarlet Crown and Sailor's Dream at the rear.
Well, very smart, this filly, Dan. And that outside patch that we pointed out this morning, that's where those two headed for. If you can get out there, that's where they trial all the horses every time on a Tuesday morning out here, and it gets really compact down, and it's a lot firmer than the inside there.
Well, they were the two they wanted. Princess Dior, $2.90 for the winner, $1.50 the place. 3 Pimpala Patch, a place total of $1.70. It has got second. And Black is Beautiful, a place divvy of $6.30. She took a bit of riding to about the 500. She was 3 lengths off them. But didn't she go to the line so impressively?
She really accelerated and went to the line well. Like Damien hasn't pulled the whip, he's just ridden her hands and heels. Here she goes, starting to scoot right away from them. But she's on that bit of ground. It's just amazing the difference that ground out there. And like I think most of the sprint races have been won except for on the first day when the good sprinter won on the inside.
Hariba. Well, when they went past the crossing, there was very little between both sides of the track, Gary, and was probably from about the 500-metre point. From there on, the outside horses just asserted their superiority. Yeah. And what about superiority in this filly? Look at the...
Damien had a little look around there just to see.
The look of Damien.
Yeah, look at that.
The way she got to the line, she'll get further too. Greg Urell, what a big week for him. Peter Donegan with Markstad winning, and this filly, you'd have to declare her quite above the average.
She is definitely above average. In fact, Greg, she might be more than above average. She could be anything.
Yeah, I'm very happy with her. She just continues to improve. You know, it's hard to know where it's going to end.
Was it predetermined that you were going to come down the outside?
Not at this stage. Damien was a little bit undecided as to what he was going to do. He was sort of going to work out who did come to the outside, because being her first time down the straight, you know, she could have got a little bit lost, so she needed a little bit of help down there. He was hoping he'd get a bit of cover by tracking in behind something to help him with the wind because of the head-on wind, and everything went to plan.
Yeah, she looked as though she might have been a bit lost in the early stages because she was a fair way behind those leading on the grandstand rail.
She was a little bit slow away at Werribee too when she jumped, but once she seems to gain momentum and start travelling, and then she keeps rolling forward from there.
Will you shoot for the stars with her, because she looks as though she's got the ability to match it?
Well, we'll probably give her a little holiday now, and then we'll aim for something a little bit better on in the autumn, I would think.
Been a nice carnival for you.
Been lovely, yeah. You couldn't ask for better for the team I've got. I'm very, very happy.
Well done. We're going to see a lot more of her. Congratulations, Greg.
Thank you very much.
Greg Urell, the winning trainer in race 6, Princess Dior. Damien Oliver's out there, and I'm sure he'd back up the big opinion of this horse, Letty.
Yes, he has a big opinion of her, but it's that man, Damien Oliver, again. Congratulations, Damien. Very impressive, Princess Dior.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. She got a good little cuddle in behind him, and when I asked to go, she dashed away from him.
She has 3 starts with 3 wins, and this would be one of her easiest wins. She's won by about 4.5 lengths and just in a hand canter.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good horse when they can keep on improving as they go along.
And she looked very comfortable too in the going.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she's pretty good.
Good, mate. Congratulations.
She is very good, that one. Princess Dior, number 14. We've seen a couple of promising horses here today. Doremus in the 3rd race and Princess Dior in race 6. And we're going to be hearing a lot more of that filly. 3 starts for 3 wins, and she should go on to match it with the very, very good company in her age group. Okay, they're coming back to scale now in the Cadbury Roses Stakes, and as they make their way through the famous Flemington Roses, we'll take a break and we'll have the correct weight signal or otherwise and the dividends on race 6 when we come back.
$2.90 for Princess Dior and $1.50 Pimpala Patch $1.70. Black is Beautiful $6.30. Quinella $4.70. The Trifecta $178.30. The Race to Race Double $174.20. Margins were 3.5 lengths by 3/4 of a length, and the time was most important too, 1:10.2, and it was very obvious, certainly on the course proper, from the 450-metre mark to the winning post. The outside was decidedly quicker. Prior to that, Tim, there was very little between both sides of the track, so we wonder what happens in this next race, which is also a straight race.
Indeed, worth a thought, and I'm sure the jocks have taken good notice of that.
The Gungahlin Sports Club now has a club tab and Sky Channel. Follow the races and enjoy drinks at low prices in the comfort of the Sportsman's Bar. Try your luck on the pokies or enjoy a meal in the bistro. The Gungahlin Sports Club, the club for all sports.
Welcome back to Flemington in Melbourne Cup week, and there is Jeune. Wayne Harris, the winner of the Melbourne Cup for 1994, and I've got the jock with me. Wayne, thanks for coming up.
It's a pleasure, Tim.
On a busy day. Well, I mean, I said, I think, on Cup Day that fate has an amazing way of putting its hand on your head sometimes. Shane gave up the ride, Rod Griffiths gave up the ride, and you took it.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale, and I'm glad I was involved.
Yeah, and the rest, as they say, is history. What did you think when you picked up the ride? Do you think he had a chance?
Well, he was a very well-performed horse. The risk was that he mightn't run the distance, and that's why the other jockeys didn't want to ride him, and he tends to be a bit keen in his races.
He's strong.
Yeah, and that was the first time I'd ever sat on his back on Tuesday, so it was very good to me.
Tell us about the ride on him. It looked pretty perfect from sitting up here.
Yeah, well, my instructions were, I rode contrary to instructions. I was supposed to be up in the leading 3 or 4 horses because they thought he wouldn't settle, and I'm better to be up there where he's not pulling, and he walked out the barriers, and I just had to put him in midfield, and he switched off for me, and I just ended up having a lovely run through the field, and yeah, it's never really in doubt then.
All right, we'll just have a look at the, looks about the last 300 or 400 here, and they were all coming at you at this stage, but he really gave you some more, didn't he? You asked him, and he really went to the line well.
Yeah, being a European stay, and they can tend to be a bit cunning, I suppose, at times, and I got left in front, a fair way from home, and that wasn't really the plan. I cuddled him as long as I could, and when I got down to about the 300, I put one around his tail, and just hoped that he'd respond, and he did.
He sure did. Well, you mentioned fairy tale, Wayne, and it has been. I mean, it's pretty well documented now. You've had a shocking run of luck, and there's the big smile on your face and the fist going in the air. It must have been a feeling of, well, finally, I've got some luck going my way.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's been well documented, all the bad luck I've had and whatever, but days like that, you know, it's just, as I say, it's a fairy tale. I just can't believe it's happened, but they've brought me back down to earth today. I had to push a couple of slow ones around today.
Yeah, jockey's life is not a happy one sometimes, but on the dais, on the winning dais, you said g'day to Mum, and how soon was it that you got in contact with her?
Well, we tried, I think, for about 3 or 4 hours and couldn't get through. My home number was engaged, and people ringing well wishes and family and friends, and it was just great, you know. Yeah. I just wish they all could have been here and enjoyed it with me, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a special day.
Yeah, they don't get much more special. I mean, I've mentioned, you know, the things in sport that are really special and grand occasions. There couldn't be anything much better than you coming down between those roses we're just seeing there as the winner of the Melbourne Cup.
I just couldn't believe it. I just kept shaking my head, and I was thinking my wife was going to wake me next morning and kick me in the backside and tell me to get out of bed and go to work. And I just couldn't believe it was actually happening.
Yeah, well, mate, we all think it's terrific. Congratulations. You got a ride in the last?
Yeah, I picked up a ride for David Hayes. I had a scratching. I thought I was going to get an early shower, but they're throwing me back out in the field.
Well, you never know your luck. You never know your luck. Wayne Harris, thanks for coming up and talking.
Thanks, Tim. It's a pleasure.
By the way, before you, I almost forgot. We understand you haven't got this, but we put it on a piece of tape for you. There's the cup and your return to scale coming down the roses with our compliments.
Thank you.
Can take that home and have a look at it. I'm sure you'll have a look at it many times.
They tell me I rode it well. I'll have to go and watch it now.
Good on you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks. Just stay there for a second. Wayne Harris, we'll take a break and come back with the next here at Flemington.
He's having his 93rd start today, the 8-year-old.
Yes, he's a grand old galloper, Street Ruffian. He's been racing over the 1,400 metres, and he's back to 1,100 metres here. Now that's going to suit him. He's drawn barrier 9, and you can imagine he is going to more than likely come down the outside. I think he's a good chance at fairly nice odds for Street Ruffian.
Well, he's 8. Barcara is 7 years of age. Patrick Payne is the rider. You've tipped him a few times today, Jen, and on his run behind Scalacci, beaten just over a length by the winner. He's a definite contender contender here, and the gate's going to help him.
Well, I hope so, Pete, because I have tipped him here. At Caulfield, he was equal lead there on the fence, and they went pretty hard. Scalacci just got home over the top of them there. He's going to come down the outside, drawn 13, and he's got a very good chance here.
4 is Chiliad, Grant Cooksley, the rider, trained by John Hawkes, recent form at Eagle Farm and Randwick. Nothing to write home about, pardon me, but he's drawn barrier number 3. It'll be interesting to see whether he does decide to come to the outside.
It will be. Barrier 3, it's going to make it difficult if those horses on the outside of him don't want to go that way, but you would envisage that they might go down the outside. A long while ago, he did bleed this horse, so, you know, he has had some problems. He's got some ability, and he's probably not the roughest here.
Royal Discard number 5 is drawn out in gate 12, so he'll probably come down the outside. And his run behind Hariba the other day, very good, beaten only a long neck and a head.
Also, his record over 1,100 metres, Pete, is very good. He's certainly got a very good chance on the strength of his run the other day.
On to number 6, Red Hope, with Brendan Sweeney taking the ride, and this horse has drawn gate number 1. 2 good wins at Victoria Park and then finished in the middle of the field at Morfordville in South Australia.
Yes, his recent form has been good in a lot weaker classes. It's a fairly tough assignment for Red Hope. He's a beautiful horse, this fellow, but he just sometimes doesn't produce.
8 Top Walk to be ridden by Damien Oliver, and that will certainly make him get a few extra supporters. And his run last start was pretty good when third to Spring Theme. He was beaten 3 lengths, but that was back on the 27th of August, so he hasn't run for a while.
No, that's an important part about this horse too, Peter, because his first up form is very good, and he's first up here again today. First up last time, he ran 3rd behind King Marauding, so that form is pretty good. You'd have to give him a place chance.
And 9, the Gunnison, is also an interesting runner to be ridden by Michael Clark. He's had his first up run. That was in the Flying down at Werribee when he finished 2nd, and prior to that, he hadn't started since the early autumn.
Yes, well, he drifted back on that occasion. He was 3 wide coming around the turn. He fought on pretty well. He's fitter now, and he's got in nicely with 51 kilos.
Well, what about to sum it up, Jen, in race 7?
To sum it up, I'm going for number 3, Barcara. I think he'll come down the outside. He'll be up near the lead there for most of the time. Number 5 to run 2nd, Royal Discard, because he did put in a nice performance on Saturday. And number 2, Street Ruffian, to run 3rd.
Well, as I said, I went for Chiliad, but after drawing barrier number 3, he's going to face a bit of a task because the outside certainly looks quicker. I think Royal Discard coming into the race all the time. Now they're going up to the 1,100 metre barrier for this race 7, the Hilton on the Park Sprint. Back there's the tote figures on race 7.
Street Ruffian is showing $9.30 for the win. Barcara $7.50. They're both grey horses, so they'll be pretty easy to pick up. Chiliad $11.60. Royal Discard $3.10. Great run here last Saturday. Red Hope $14.40. Crystal Sword $18.50. Top Walk $25.80. The Gunnison $10.20. Laura's Express $27. Dr. Zachary $29. Balacerata $40. Destry Girl $30. Stormy Dawn $14.50. Centrefold Spread $26. And Aerobic Prince $45 for the win. They are moving into the gates. And Gary Willits, we saw in the previous race there was very little between both sides of the track. Actually, we might go to Terry on this one. Terry, and it wouldn't surprise me if the horses that they back in this race, particularly in the ring, are horses that are drawn sort of wide on the track and might have a clear path to the outside rail.
You're exactly right, Danny, and you're a good judge. They've backed 2 horses in this race. Royal Discard, bookmakers took a slight risk with it. As soon as they got it out about a quarter of a point, the punters came in their droves and they backed it in to a good, solid favourite. Barcara's also been solid in the market at good odds. The one they've spec'd at pretty big odds is Laura's Express. It's paying $29 on the tote. It's around 10 points shorter than that with bookmakers, and there's been some extremely good bets on it. So we'll keep an eye on Laura's Express. No doubt he'll probably come down the outside.
Yeah, thank you very much, Terry. You would certainly think so. She's drawn the outside, and that is obviously the key here, Gary, as they go in.
Definitely, Dan. To get to that outside rail, that'll be the one, I think. The horses that will get home the best.
And all set to go. Light goes on. Away they go now. Getting out quickly and certainly going straight to the outside. Laura's Express, they're all going to go over except poor old Red Hope is stuck on the flat side, so they're all going to the outside of the track. Barcara, Laura's Express are up on the leading 2. Royal Discard behind them, followed by Bella Serrata. Street Ruffian was there as well. Destry Girl, the Gunnison Kiliad. Top Walk behind those. Centerfold Spread going back towards the tail end of the field. And Crystal Sword's got about 4 behind it. And Red Hope is gradually being able to drift across towards the centre of the track. So certainly the outside of the track is much, much quicker. And Stormy Dawn right up against the outside rail in front of Barcara. Laura